The 100 Season 3, Episode 3, Ye Who Enter here. Really loved this episode. It was definitely a crazy one that had a lot of interesting moments, especially the ending, where it was just like one surprise after another. And, we got betrayal in here, like Echo returns from the last season, and clearly, Ice Nation, it doesn't matter who is a part of the Ice Nation, they just don't give enough. It's like, thanks for saving my life last time. I really owe you one, but I'm just going to blow up, like, all of your people because, we want to go to war. Because we want this person dead, so we'll kill all of your people. And what that's going to do, which I love the way that they did it, even though it sucks that they blew up Mount Weather, which really, that was, of course, aside from the fact that a ton of people got killed in that, the fact that they destroyed Mount Weather in general right after it's like, all right, we're going to go ahead and move in here, it destroys all of those issues where it's like, we can't be here because they'll think, we kind of have to keep up appearances, but they don't have to worry about that anymore. Everyone inside is dead. We find out that the last mountain man is still alive, and that's the guy who survived almost running out of oxygen from the last season. He's still alive, and he's immune now because of the bone marrow transplant, or transfer. I don't know if I guess you can't call it transplant. But he's alive now, he's immune, he doesn't have to deal with any of the radiation issues. Mount Weather's gone. The fact that the assassination was actually on Mount Weather was a nice little surprise. And I like the way that they did that, because of course I thought, like anyone I guess, the guy had the little timer and everything, and he has the knives and all this stuff. And it's like he's waiting for his time. Figured he was somewhere, of course, in the tower. And we see him walk down the hallway. As soon as he walked down the hallway, I was like, that's Mount Weather. And of course they show the sign. And so he kills Bellamy's girlfriend, which it sucks that Gina didn't, I believe her name was Gina. She didn't really have any time in the series, although I will say, actually I won't say it because I won't spoil it, but I heard some stuff, possible rumors, so I was surprised to see her go so quickly. I'll just put it that way, and I'll talk about it definitely later. But I was, it kind of sucked to see her go, and seemingly like she'd have at least a small role or something. And it's like, no, she got killed off really fast. Raven fortunately survives. So does the engineer guy. Definitely can't remember his name. But both of them survive. And the big thing that I was mentioning about like everyone that died on the inside, all of those people, or at least most of them, I believe, were from Pike's group. So this is basically a lot of the people from the new group that basically only dealt with the Ice Nation, that still had the sort of us versus them mentality. They were a lot of the ones that were in Mount Weather. I would have to assume. I mean, I know they don't specifically say who went. It was like, Abby just mentions like, oh, basically recon groups, just to test it out. I would assume, though, it would be the people that dealt with the Ice Nation. And that kind of fits perfectly because that leaves very few people from that new group that was introduced recently, and it's Pike and Monty's mother, and there's some other people there's like one other person that got named, but seemingly irrelevant. So Pike having this moment now after, clearly he's the one who's, in the old mentality from season 1, where it's like, we don't trust grounders. This is going to be a really big push for his character where he's just going to get worse and worse, and I don't know if it's going to become an actual issue, and I'm sure it will, because it's just, it's television in general, to be totally honest, but when it's the 100, it just pushes it to a whole different level where it's like, you can expect someone to be angry, and then it's the 100, and it's like, I know they're going to get angry, but it could go really bad. They probably won't listen to reason, and I don't think he will once it gets to a certain point. And it'll probably be during the middle of this crazy war, despite everything that happened in this episode, because we have Sky Crew now, as a part of the clans, they have become the 13th clan. So all of the people from the Ark are now a part of, the 13 clans. Now there's no longer 12. And there's just a ton of issues with that because, of course, you're going to have people like Pike who don't want that to happen. That's going to be boosted by what just happened with Mount Weather, despite the fact that it's Ice Nation. I don't think he'll care. We, of course, have Kane and pretty much everyone else from Arcadia they'll understand exactly what's happening because they dealt with, season 1 and season 2 and everything that's happened. So they've kind of gone through the paces and they know, what's going on. But it's going to cause some inner turmoil, and I'm looking forward to that, honestly. But I'm a little scared because he might try to make a stand, and I don't know what'll happen if he tries to do that just on his own, if he just kind of snaps or something. And so we have Kane, who is officially the Chancellor now, which, he finally has this official moment. And I know it kind of went back and forth. I'm pretty sure he was Chancellor for like, I don't know, I believe they did do it like 3 or 4 different times in the last season where it was like, you're Chancellor, and then when Jaha came back, it was like, of course you're Chancellor. So it did rotate a little bit, so he had moments of being Chancellor in good ways compared to, season 1 where he was trying to get his friend shot. So he certainly redeemed himself, and now he's officially the Chancellor, and he gets like branded and stuff on the arm, which was funny. It was like right after it happens, that's when they get all the news. I'm like, man, that would have been great to have like right before, but they still join with the rest of the clans and everything against the Ice Nation. Um, Lexa, I don't really know what to think about Lexa in this because of course seemingly she still cares about Clark in an intimate way, but at the same time she still did leave everyone behind. Like, well, save my people, I'm out of here. And I just don't know 100% exactly what to think. She made a great promise at the end, and she, kneeled down in front of Clark and everything. And I would like to assume that everything's going to be great for them. They can all join together, and it will be fine. And she will actually look after everyone, just like she does the rest of the clans. But I don't know. It's a little difficult to tell, to be totally honest. She did have a really badass moment in the beginning when she was like, with the Ice Nation guy, and it's like, I'm gonna give him a message. I want you to deliver a message to your queen. And she just kicks the guy off the building. And when I saw that, I was like, man, no one in this series dies like that because they don't have skyscrapers. There aren't any tall buildings or anything. So I was like, man, that has to be the craziest thing because at this point in the world, people don't die like that. At least not where they are, which is America. So that was kind of crazy just seeing him fall. I was like, man, that's weird. We probably won't see that ever happen again because there aren't a bunch of tall buildings. So I just thought that was very interesting. But that was really cool for her. Um, Kane in this episode, I think, had a really great moment when he first got to the Capitol and he and Abby talked about him being suited for being Chancellor and having negotiations and stuff like that. That was probably my favorite moment of Kane that I've had in the entire series. He's had some really great moments before. He, like, him and Murphy have, like, the craziest redemption stories ever because I hated him in season 1 because he was the one who was trying to take over. He wanted to float Abby and all this other stuff that still happened, but it's like, man, he's come a very long way and has become quite a likable character from who he was in the first season when he was just pushing to get rid of every single person to try to survive as long as he could, which I understood. Like, I knew where he was coming from because, of course, it was the whole oxygen thing and all that, but he was just like, oh, minor infraction, you're out of here, and he was just constantly trying to do that to everyone and to take over. Although, actually, now I remember, he wasn't the one that got Jaha shot. I think it was the woman that was trying to take over. It may have been him. I honestly can't remember specifically who did what, but he wasn't the greatest person as acting Chancellor. I remember that for sure. But he had a great moment in this, and I loved it when Indra came in, and they both, like, smiled at each other. I was like, that's insane, because Indra does not smile. I don't... I mean, she may... I'm pretty sure... I know she's laughed before in, like, the previous season, and her and Octavia, when they had their moments when they were close, there were moments where they were, like, happy with each other. But they're, like, smiling and, like, it's good to see you and stuff like that. And I was like, man, that's insane. And also, it's been a week's time. They mentioned that pretty early on. So it had been a week since all the craziness. Like, oh, these people were found, the new people from the Ark and stuff. But it was crazy. It was like, they're just like, hey, it's great to see you and stuff like that. And it was like, man, this is very different. Even from the last season when they were trying, to form this bond. And now it's just like, man, they're great friends and stuff. And even though they still have their issues with with them joining as a part of the clan by the end of the episode, and just how unexpected that was for everyone, it still shows like just a crazy leap from the previous season to how well the characters get along and stuff like that. So I love that scene, and he really was like he spoke the language that blew my mind because I think he said something like that before, but it was like maybe a couple words or something like that. He said like thank you or something, but he was just like it was nothing. It was like Octavia was there or something, and I was very surprised by that. And it was a cool moment. I was like, man, he's getting to know the language, and he's, trades like the patch with the woman and stuff. Like it's a symbol of where we come from to, just like fair trade. And I was like, man, that is insanely cool of him, and he's such a different character. It's just a very awesome scene to me. So I really love that. I do like the fact that they now have Abby is, she's going to kind of step back from being Chancellor, and he's going to step up, and she can focus on being solely like the medic of, the group. And I like that idea. It's something that they clearly it was foreshadowing. I thought everyone was kind of just tearing her down, really. But now she can focus on just being a doctor and being the one that helps people survive. And I like that idea, and it'll be cool to see what Kane does as the one making decisions. I'm sure he'll still, like he said, no matter who's in charge, we both, make the decisions. We still work together, but it'll be cool to see that dynamic. It will take a little stress off of Abby, and she'll be able to kind of do certain other things. So I do like that idea. Um, I don't know what to expect out of the ending. I mean, we got to see the Ice Queen, who the makeup they did on her was perfect. I was like, she totally looks like she's, got like little makeup that looks like, fake ice and stuff. I was like, they totally did that perfectly. I don't know what that little skull thing was. It looked like it was the skull of a tiny little animal. It looked like, honestly, a shrunken deer skull. Like, cause it looked like there were antlers on it to me. But she has, the little skull and stuff, and she, Echo reports that they're going to get their war. And it's just crazy to me. It's like she plans to take over as leader, and I know that she wants to be in complete control over Lexa, because why not be in the one with ultimate power? But it's just crazy to me, and I don't know what to expect. Like they have the ambassador now from the Ice Nation. Lexa does. She still has the prince, who is actually going to try to help Clark escape, and he bought off a bunch of guards. And I would assume those guards are still going to be bought off when he decides to make his escape. So I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen there. Clark decides not to kill Lexa, of course, but she doesn't say anything about the prince having mentioned the guards and all that stuff. So who knows what she's planning? In all honesty, she was mad, and of course, for good reason. But I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But this is definitely a great episode. Um, the only thing that I do wish was in here, of course, was the City of Light stuff, because they left us on like a really big cliffhanger with that, like the no death thing. But there was so much stuff happening in this. I'm not surprised that they couldn't just fit it all in there, and I'm totally fine that it did make it in, because we definitely got a great cliffhanger overall for this episode and some really great moments for the characters in general. So very excited for this next one. Lots of little seeds planted. I mean, Pike, he's going to be an issue. I can just tell that he is. I didn't mention this before, I forgot to, but when they were looking for Clark, and they went to the woman that owned like the store and stuff, and he yelled at her like, speak English, I thought that was the funniest thing. I was like, wow, that's such an American thing to say. But I really thought that was super fun. I was like, man, he just yelled at her to speak English. But he's going to be an issue in some way, shape, or form. I know he will be. And I don't know. It's crazy because he can't side against anyone, because it's only if he goes against his people, he'll only have enemies surrounding him, because clearly he's aggressive towards any of the grounders, despite what they might say currently, and that there are different types of grounders. He's going to be an issue. So he can't make more enemies, but I feel like he will somehow. I feel like he'll find a way to do it, at least temporarily. It might not be super crazy where he causes someone to die or anything like that, but he might cause like a dramatic scene where it seems like someone will die, but they survive, and then he ends up being totally fine. They might do it that way, but I really did enjoy this episode. It was very fun. Every episode is fun. It's the 100. I love this show. But I am looking forward to more of the City of Light in the next episode. We don't know where Murphy and the other girl went. I keep forgetting her name, and I wish I could remember. So we'll have to see where they end up going and what Jaha's going to be doing. I'm sure he'll just walk wherever, and they'll be running into each other very soon. But I'm really looking forward to it. Of course, definitely want to know what you guys thought about this episode. So please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, least favorite parts, and I guess there are kind of two really huge things in this one. One, of course, being what do you guys think about us losing Mount Weather 100%? Like, there's no way, or none of the argument stuff, like we have to keep up appearances. All that crap is gone. Mount Weather's been destroyed. So I definitely want to know what you guys think about that. And I want to know what you guys think is really going to happen between Clark and Lexa, because Clark might still want a revenge. I highly doubt it because of everything that she said. But sometimes in this show, you never know. In season 1, that little girl killed, um, I believe the guy's name, was it the guy's name Finn? I don't know. I can't remember the guy's name. I'm definitely thinking of Star Wars when I say Finn now, but I think that was his name. Or maybe that was the guy from last season. I can't remember. I think that was the guy from last season. But anyway, little girl killed a guy in the third or fourth episode in season 1. So it's kind of hard to guess who's thinking what and why they might still be thinking it or might switch what they're thinking. Lots of possibilities. So definitely know what you guys want to know what you guys thought about losing Mount Weather and what will really happen between Clark and Lexa. And of course, definitely want to know what you guys think about the guy surviving from Mount Weather, because that was one of the things where he kind of just vanished. And I thought they were going to do that for Dante's son, but that definitely didn't happen when Lincoln got a hold of him. So, want to know what you guys think about that, and of course the episode in general. So please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.